Hey, good Monday afternoon. Thanks for joining us today. We are tracking storms across the U.S. today, not only down in Texas, but also across Ohio, out to the Virginias, and even down in southern Florida. So let's get into it here. I know that we've got several people jumping on already from X on Twitter. Also, we've got several people on Facebook. So we'll wait for you guys to jump in here, and I'll look for your questions in the questions section. So let me know what questions you have about the storms that are going on across the U.S. right now. We have seen already 2-inch size hail across southern Florida. We've also seen some really good hail reports across the eastern portions of the Carolinas as well and into Virginia. And then we've seen a few hail reports across Texas. So we'll get into it. We've got more storms expected for Texas later on this evening. So this is kind of the very beginning of it, and we will see those storms continue as we head into the rest of the evening. So let's get into it here. Let's talk about those storms, and let me get my radar set up right now. I like to do this after we jump on here to give you guys a few minutes to get those questions in. I don't want to answer something that people haven't jumped on to even see yet. So let me know what those questions are, and then we will go ahead and start with the forecast, start with the live weather coverage. So let me know what your questions are. I can see them over here on the side, and then we'll get started here. How's everyone's Monday afternoon? You guys ready for these storms today? Alrighty. Let's connect to the radar real quick, and then we'll get started. Going around, kind of doing around the radar type of situation. So we'll go down into Texas. We'll go down into Florida as well. We'll talk about what's happening across the Virginias. I've got my radar set up now, so here we go. All right, so let's start out in Ohio, right? That's where we are right now. You can see Cleveland. We're using the Cleveland radar, and we apparently are jumping down to Florida. Let's go back. Okay, there we go. There's the Cleveland radar. There's Mansfield. That is where we have our current severe thunderstorm warning. Getting some information on this warning here. This warning goes until 7:15. It's only warned for 1-inch size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, impacting a lot of people right now. 200,000 people impacted by this severe thunderstorm warning. Again, this is what we consider marginally severe. So just over that severe threshold from 58 miles an hour to 60, that's what we consider marginally severe, and then quarter-size hail. So just barely over that severe threshold. Another hazard that you're going to see in this area will be that flooding issue as well. One thing to note, we are still included in a severe thunderstorm watch until 9 o'clock this evening. This is for a little over 2 million people across Ohio. So what we're watching for here is that ongoing hail, wind, and tornado threat. I think that hail and wind threat, that is going to be the biggest issue, especially over the next few hours. What we were looking at earlier today is that peak time for storms right now. And then after 7 o'clock, we'll see that issue of severe weather. We'll see that severity decrease as we head into the late evening hours and into the overnight hours. Now let's take a look at a few more severe thunderstorm warnings. Let's go down to Washington. Alrighty, so this is Washington, D.C., Virginia. What is this severe thunderstorm warning issued for? 1-inch size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, also going until 7:15 for a little over 400,000 people. This includes Brentsville, Dale City, Mount Vernon, and Woodbridge. Now, something that catches my eye is this storm a little bit farther to the south. We've got 60-mile-per-hour wind speeds on this storm right now that's just outside of Richmond, Virginia. This includes the Tappahannock area, just outside of Richmond. Again, we still have another 30 minutes left on this storm right here. Let's go back up to that DC storm. Up to DC. And you've got several severe thunderstorm warnings included in this storm, but what I really want to look at right now, because this is moving into Mount Vernon, I want to get some information from the National Weather Service. So again, only marginally severe. These are your garden variety severe thunderstorms, 1-inch size hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind speed. The National Weather Service is saying that this is moving to the northwest at 25 miles an hour. So putting a track on this storm right here, we can see, oh, well, that's not what I was expecting. There you go. To the northwest at, what did I say? 25 miles an hour. So giving you a little bit of a track here, 25 miles an hour. This could impact the far western side of Washington, D.C., but I've got a few cities on here for you, from 6:56 into Oakton, 7 o'clock into Chantilly, and 7:11 into Reston. And then you'll see some rain for quite some time. Again, this isn't moving terribly fast. However, it is moving up to the north and west, so most likely hitting that eastern side of Washington. Here's a local storm report. Let's see what's happening over here outside of Germantown. What is our local storm report? 1-inch size hail, not terribly impressive there. So let's continue down to the south, and let's see what questions do we have on this Monday evening. Because I want to know, where are you guys watching from? Are you, okay, so this is why we ask for questions. We've got someone watching in from College Station. So what area of College Station got hit? Great question. Let's check it out. So we'll just go right into Texas, because I know that we have people watching from Texas. So it's going to take me a minute just to kind of navigate over here. And we're going to have to rewind our radar just a little bit, because right now it does not look like there's anything severe over College Station. But let me pull up a different radar on my screen so I can get some more information about these storms that were in College Station just about 20 minutes ago. And I'll get some more information for you here. Okay, so the entire city of College Station, Bryan area, was included in a severe thunderstorm warning, and that warning was for, I think, quarter-size hail, yes, and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. I don't see any hail reports, local storm reports in this area, and now this storm has moved off to the east, to the north and east, but you have more storms in your area, so you could still see. I mean, look, you've got still a pretty impressive storm right here sitting over you. Now, it is not warned. However, you could still see, of course, those severe warnings as we go throughout the rest of the evening. So it looks like the entire portion of College Station, the entire city, especially on the north side. Yeah, I would say north side. And now this radar that you guys are seeing here does not go back that far. I'm looking at a different radar. However, I would say the north side to answer your question about which part of College Station got hit. That would be what I would say is that north side of the city. Other questions for Austin and for Round Rock. So I don't think, yeah, you guys are not included in a watch right now. I don't think that we have seen any severe thunderstorm warnings in Austin or in Round Rock this evening, so I'm not terribly concerned with the Austin or Round Rock area right now. But we can take, in just a few minutes, we can take a look at our future radar. We can take a look at some of the models and show you what we expect to happen over the next few hours, and I mean for the rest of the evening. We're kind of at the end of the day here, but the storms are just getting started. Now, we did have storms in Houston earlier, so Houston, we have a local storm report for you. Let's check that out. Local storm report showing us that we got 1-inch size hail. This is coming in from a National Weather Service employee. He reports, or she reports, quarter-size hail out in Fresno, so just on the south side of Houston, and that was at 5:02, so that was about 40 minutes ago. So that's your update for Houston. We don't have any more severe thunderstorm warnings in Houston right now. However, if you go just a little bit to the north, go along, what is this, 290 here? Yeah, go up to the north along 290, and you've got another severe thunderstorm warning for 1-inch size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts in a less populated area, impacting about 4,000 people from Magnolia to Pinehurst to Stagecoach. And this severe thunderstorm warning goes until 6:15, so we've got another 25 minutes left on this warning right here. Let's see, what else? And we are included in Houston, in College Station, Bryan, Texas. We are included in a severe thunderstorm watch until 8 o'clock this evening. So this is not the only round of storm that we'll be seeing today. Obviously have a ton of rain around you, so we'll be keeping an eye on this. What we're watching for here is every now and then, storms will organize enough to go severe, and what we've been kind of doing is just playing this kind of popcorn game. Which one is it going to be that can strengthen enough to go severe? So that's what we've been watching for. We've got a hail marker on here. For up to 2-inch size hail, I don't think so. That doesn't look very promising. These storms are very unorganized, so what we're watching for are these more isolated storms right here, and I think that those will be the ones that you could see produce larger hailstones. All right, what other questions do we have this evening? Great question. Miami, Florida. Let's head down to Florida. And check out the radar down there. You guys have to give me a minute while I slowly but surely navigate over to Florida. All righty, there we go. Let's see. Switch to our Miami radar. No severe thunderstorm warnings right now. Let's check out the storm motion. Slow-moving storms, you are not in a watch either. That area highlighted in purple is a severe thunderstorm watch, and you can get some information on that. That goes until 9 o'clock Eastern time, so again, another hour, 2 hours left on that severe thunderstorm watch. This includes Coral Springs, Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, Pembroke Pines, but not Miami. So not including Dade County there. Let's check out some of these storms. Yeah, no severe thunderstorm warning here, but this one that's moving just to the west of Pembroke Pines, just to the west of 27 here, is looking a little bit more impressive. Now, our radar indication wants to give this a little bit of a hail marker. It wants to give it a little bit of hail here. This is not warned for anything, but even the hail marker is only for $half size hail. So what it's saying here is that we probably have some small hail mixed in here, but it isn't warned enough. So the probability of severe hail, about 50%, not too impressive. So we'll have to keep an eye on this storm right here. That'll be our next one to keep an eye on. What about the rest of Florida? Fort Lauderdale getting some rain right now. Your only severe thunderstorm warning that I see right now is up near Melbourne. Now, I do have, talk about Florida, I do have some pictures from some pictures of large hail that happened earlier this afternoon, and I'll show those to you here in just a minute. We posted one on our social media page, but we can show you more in this live. This severe thunderstorm warning is warned for 1-inch size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts just outside of Melbourne, Florida. And let's see if we can get a storm track on this. It is moving to the southeast at 25 miles an hour. So again, pretty slow movers here. If you watched our live stream last week, we talked about how slow these storms are moving. But then it was like 5, 10, maybe 15 miles an hour. Today, they're moving a little bit faster, but still I would consider these relatively slow movers at 25 miles an hour. All right, let's take a look at those pictures. I have these pictures queued up for you because I knew that Florida would come up. So let's take a look at some of these pictures out of Florida this evening. There you go. So this is from Fort Pierce, Florida. You can see how many hailstones fell, but let's take a look at the size of these hailstones. Pretty impressive. Okay, so we've got, what is this? Probably right around the size of a ping pong ball. Pretty decent sized hailstones. I think this one is a little bit more impressive. Maybe a bit larger, up to the size of a golf ball, maybe a bit larger than that even. So some pretty impressive hailstones there that fell in Fort Pierce. And there's obviously a lot of hail as well, because you can see how much hail is on the ground behind the hand there. So I hope that helped to answer some of your questions about what's going on in Florida this evening. Let's see, what other questions do we have? I see a lot of people asking about Houston. We'll go back to Houston here in just a few minutes. We were down there earlier, and we'll go back to Houston in just a few minutes. I was reading some of the comments in here about south of Cleburne, Texas, had a ping pong ball size hail report earlier. Some questions about Daytona, Florida. And so just kind of reading your comments in here. Yeah, put your comments, put your questions in the chat, and we'll get to those here in just a few minutes. Let's go down to Houston. We have a lot more people asking about Houston now. Joe's asking about Houston. Junior also asking about Houston. So let's head down to Houston. We'll clear these hail reports off and move back into Texas. So the only severe thunderstorm warning that I have right now is up to 90. And let's see if there's been any updates since last time we took a look at this. No, there isn't. 1-inch size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind speeds. We did have a storm report down in Houston earlier today, but obviously we've mapped much more than just what you see here. 1-inch size hail, and then that is coming from a National Weather Service employee, so pretty reliable source right there. Just outside of Houston, down on the southern side, the exact city here, Fresno. And that came in at 502. We could have some small hail going on in Mount Bellevue right now. That is not severe warned. This storm right here is looking a little bit more impressive. Okay. That's near Pinehurst, headed into the Woodlands. I think this is moving. Let's see what. It's moving to the east at 15 miles an hour, so it is moving right into the Woodlands right now. About 15 miles an hour, it's going to take its sweet time getting there. Let's see if we can get a storm track on this. So we'll just go right outside of the warning. And what did I say, 15 miles an hour? Not a ton of cities included in this right here. Tomball, I think, is the only city, and that'll be right around 557. Oh, that'll be right now. Let's check the distance between this severe thunderstorm and the Woodlands. Let's clear some of these things off of here. About 15 miles away, so you should probably see this storm approaching right now. Now, it is a slow mover, so you'll get more of that impact within the next 45 minutes to an hour. Again, this is in the Woodlands, Texas, just outside, just to the north of Houston. I think technically, is it considered like a suburb of Houston? I think it is. Okay, what other storms do we have going on right now? Now, we have not talked about West Texas yet and into the New Mexico, southeastern side of New Mexico, so we can go down to this area, Midland, Texas, and I'm not quite sure why there we go. Okay, there you go. I was like, where did my radar go? Perfect. So Midland, Texas, we'll start there. Midland, Texas, we've got 1-inch size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. That's been pretty common. That's what we've seen so far. But I do think that these more isolated storms, these are going to be the ones to keep more of an eye on than what we've seen out in Florida and along the East Coast. Those storms are so clustered, it's hard for these storms to organize whenever they're that clustered. You need that organization to produce that large hail. So you see that down in Midland, Texas. I think that this will be something to keep an eye on. You see that just to the west as well. Now, I don't think that this is warned for anything more than, okay, we've got ping pong ball size hail out in far western Texas, sitting right along the Texas-New Mexico state line right now. What else do we have? Going into Lovington, this severe thunderstorm warning also for ping pong ball size hail. So if you remember our hail forecast earlier today, what we showed you was, I'll zoom all the way out here. To give you an idea, what we showed you was this area of Texas was going to be the area that had the most likelihood, the highest chance for large hail. We said that Houston had a very, very small chance. We said that the far eastern side of Ohio also had a pretty good chance for hail, but I thought that the hail was going to be a lot smaller down on the East Coast and across the southern portion of Florida. So actually, let's get a check on our Washington, D.C. storm. Okay, now we are warned for the far western side of Washington. So this is exactly what we told you guys was going to happen, was the far eastern side, or excuse me, the far western side is where we expected this large hail to be. So we've got one local storm report right now for 1-inch size hail in Triangle City. That's in Prince William County, and that was reported at 5:47 Central Time, 6:47 Eastern Time, so about 15 minutes ago. But the severe thunderstorm warning is for 1-inch size hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Oops. We've got a few more severe thunderstorm warnings out on the far eastern side of North Carolina. Let's see, are these anything impressive? Not really. 1-inch size hail out there as well. And that's what we have near Falling Creek in Kingston as well. Okay, so back down to Florida. Anything interesting out here? I know we have one person watching from Miami. It looks like that one severe thunderstorm warning that we were keeping our eye on has now been let go. Now, it is not warned anymore. However, I'm a little surprised because I did expect this to have a little bit of hail with it. So I'm a bit surprised that this storm is not warned. I'm surprised why they didn't keep this warned. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what it produces. But other than that, there's 2 more severe thunderstorm warnings happening in Florida right now, one just outside of Melbourne, Florida, and I hope I'm saying that correctly. That goes until 7:30 this evening, and then the other also until 7:30 this evening. Not in terribly populated areas. We're not getting any population popping up here. And last but not least, let's return to Houston. I do see a severe thunderstorm warning. That is the same one that we've been talking about that's going into the Woodlands right now. Oh, we've got 2 over here. So one in Prairie View, one over here to the south of Somerville, going into Somerville right now. Again, it's these marginal severe storms, 1-inch size hail. What do we have for this one? Also 1-inch size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. Now, this does include Magnolia, Pinehurst, Stagecoach, and that goes until 6:15. We've got another 10 minutes on this severe thunderstorm warning. Now, before I hop off here, I wanted to give you a radar update. Before I hop off, we will go to your future radar and we'll look at the models and we'll talk about what's expected for the rest of the evening, but I want to make sure that I'm not missing any questions. So back to the chat. I don't see too many questions on here. One person, Jesse, is asking about Ohio. So we can head up to Ohio and get one last check of the radar up there. Let's see. So from what I've seen in Ohio today is most of these hail reports have been right around 1 inch, quarter size, and I think the largest one that I saw earlier was up to the size of a golf ball. Right now, the severe thunderstorm warning is only warned for 1 inch size hail. That's what we see here. It goes until 7:30. Your local storm reports, spotter reported quarter size hail in Berlin, and then we've got another one, quarter size hail also in Millersburg. So not terribly concerned about the hail risk in Ohio right now. So this is just to the south of Lafayette. Let's see, what's the biggest city over here? Mansfield, maybe? I'm not terribly familiar with these cities, but this severe thunderstorm warning does include a little over 150,000 people for quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. All right, let's see, what other questions do we have? Another question about Virginia. Mark is asking about Virginia. Oh, we just got a tornado warning. Not in Virginia, in Ohio. So this is for Jesse. Jesse asked about Ohio. We have a tornado warning now. This is brand new information. So let's get more information about this. Let's move up to this warning. It's going into Lafayette right now. Lottie, Medina, I hope I'm saying some of these correctly. Medina City. Now your hail risk here is very low, smaller than quarter size hail, but about 100,000 people are included in this tornado warning that goes until 7:30 this evening. So 7:30 Eastern time, we've got another 24 minutes included on this tornado warning. Let's see if we can get some information from the National Weather Service. So they're saying here, radar indicated rotation. They have not seen anything at the ground. They've seen this from the radar. They're saying that this is moving to the north, so straight to the north at 40 miles an hour. And that's really the most information that we're getting from this warning right here. So again, tornado warning including Medina, Lafayette, Medina City, and Montville. And this goes until 7:30 this evening. About 100,000 people included in this warning. And again, that is for Ohio. We've gone back down to Texas now, but I know that we had a question about Virginia. So let's go out to Virginia. I see one severe thunderstorm warning that's already catching my eye just outside of Richmond. Let's zoom right down into this here. In Tappahannock, I hope I'm saying that correctly. We are warned for quarter-size hail, less than quarter-size hail, and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts in this area. It must be verified, maybe for this wind. Yeah, it looks like you must have some verified high wind out of this severe thunderstorm warning, because in the King and Queen Court city out in Virginia, trees are down in this area. So again, this is just to the northeast of Richmond, Virginia. So there's your update in Virginia. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning for Washington, D.C. right here. Still a severe thunderstorm warning, but we only are warned for quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. This is a pretty big time of the day to have the severe thunderstorm warning, because a lot of people are out and about, maybe a late evening commute or maybe headed to dinner. You could get a lot of people on the roads at this time. So even though we say it's only marginally severe, which is the lowest severe threshold that you can get to, still, it's important to note, as people are out and about on the roadways. So stay weather aware out here. Let's take a break from the radar real quick, and let's take a look at your model data. to see what's going to happen for the rest of the evening. Now what I can do, and I'll start down in Texas. I'll start in areas that we know that we have been told, you guys have commented and said where you guys are watching from. And so we'll start down in Houston. So let's do Houston first. So we've got some people outside of Houston, some people coming in from College Station as well. So we'll talk about Houston and College Station here. Yes, we are still included in a risk in Houston. So we still have those severe threats on the board, I think until 8 o'clock tonight. You're going to see mostly storms to the north of Houston for now. I think models are doing a pretty good job reflecting this as we head into the evening hours. Maybe that could come a little bit closer into the city and then south of the city as we head into the late night hours tonight. Finally, moving farther off to the north and off to the east as we head into tomorrow morning. However, you could still be waking up in Houston in College Station tomorrow morning, still with storms around you. You are included in a risk for tomorrow as well. Here is that risk for tomorrow. Check this out. Not only afternoon storms, but we could see those morning storms as well. You're in is this a level 3 risk? Let me double check. I think just level 2, yes. Okay, so level 2, that slight risk for Houston. However, what you're seeing here is our hail risk. So not necessarily the storm risk, but the hail risk. What the Storm Prediction Center has is large hail in the Austin area for tomorrow. So do you see those hatched lines right there, these little black lines? That's what indicates to us some larger hail in this area. And that stops right around the Houston area. I think it may just go to, well, looking from my map right here, it goes all the way through Houston. Oh yeah, I see it right there. Okay, so large hail expected for Houston and Austin tomorrow. You can see that those storms will not only be in the afternoon, but also in the morning hours. So this morning event could catch a lot of people off guard, so make sure that you are staying weather aware. You will have storms both in the morning and in the evening. Alrighty, we have also people hopping on from Ohio, so let's take a look at your risk for the rest of the evening. And you just kind of have to bear with me as I move up. I don't know what side of Ohio that you're on, however, my assumption is it's the east side, considering that's where we have storms right now. So here's your storms right now. They're seemingly sporadic. You know, it's pretty widespread coverage of storms as we head into the next few hours. Now that severe risk is going to go down as we head into the late evening hours. So by about 7, 8 o'clock this evening, you're going to see that severe risk go down pretty significantly. So you really have only another hour, maybe an hour and a half left on the strongest storms, okay? As we head into the late night hours, overnight tonight, you could maybe see a strike of lightning, rumble of thunder out your window, but again, that severe risk has significantly decreased compared to what we saw earlier this afternoon and this evening. Tomorrow, you have a severe risk way off to the east, so this includes a portion of our northeastern communities, but not in Ohio. So it looks like you guys are severe clear in Ohio tomorrow. However, you still have rain moving through, so that of course could stall your morning or your evening commute as you still have that rain on the eastern side of the state. Again, that severe risk for our eastern communities tomorrow are up in places like New York, Pennsylvania, including the far western side of New York City, and then all the way up to I-90. So really just hugging I-76 all the way up to I-90 for tomorrow. All right, where is everyone else watching from? Did I hit all of the big places that we've had comments from today? Yep, Ohio. We got Sugar Land, Texas already. We talked about Houston. I think the only place that we have not hit yet is Virginia. We had one person asking about Virginia. So let's take a look at Virginia. Now this is for today. Remember what you're looking at. There we go. Oh. Okay, what you're looking at is the risk for today. So we've got storms anywhere from Washington all the way to Norfolk right now, really hugging the east side of the state. This will continue as you head into the next hour or two, but again, very similar to Ohio, I think your risk will significantly go down within the next hour or two. This is not going to be an overnight event. Even tomorrow, do you have rain tomorrow? You wake up and it's dry, that'll be nice. A lot of people have rain tomorrow morning, stalling their morning commute, contributing to that flooding issue that has been an ongoing problem over the last few days, over the last few weeks across a good portion of the U.S., but it looks like Virginia, you are in the clear for tomorrow. Yeah, no rain. Maybe on the northern side of the state, but for the most part, especially if you're out in the Richmond or Norfolk area, you are clear, which is great to see. Okay, alrighty. I think I've gotten most of your questions answered here. Thanks for joining in on this Monday evening. We appreciate you spending your Monday evening with us. Our meteorologists are, of course, they've got their eyes on the storms, so they are going to make sure that those maps are updated for you. Wherever there is hail, they will know about it. So give us a follow. Head over to hailtrace.com for more weather updates or to take a look at those maps that they are creating. And of course, we'll be back here for your noon forecast tomorrow, so we'll see you tomorrow at noon.